Good afternoon, it's Thursday the 13th of June, it's 5 o'clock and today has been fabulous. Temperature going to be up to 23, a wee bit breezy now. Look at the colours of the flowers, absolutely gorgeous. Get rid of myself. One or two bees floating about. Well, that's not a bee, that's a fly, but there's a hoverfly there and the bees are all congregating. There's one of your hostas, Chris, about to flower. The other one's behind me. Yeah, the bees are all on this. I don't know what this flower is. Hot lips eventually came out on this flower and is going to come out on the other side. And poppies are all out. Costas are all out here. These are great. There's the poppies. Been blown to bits, mind you. But anyway, that's not what I was going to do the video on. To show you Chris's other hosta. Aye, there it is. In the midst of poppies, and the poppies have swamped these wee annuals in here. There's the marigolds. I'm just sitting down here in the sunshine. A wee bit of a breeze, as I say. It always amazes me what you can buy in charity shops. And it always amazes me, and the price of what you pay in charity shops. It always amazes me, you know, that a book or a CD that was valued at, you know, £16, which this one was, this book, whenever it was on sale, and it's only on sale a couple of years, and a CD, you know, you'd have paid 10 quid for. It always amazes me what you can get them for just 1 or 2 years later in a charity shop. And I bought this book here. It's Diary of a Young Naturalist by Dara McAnulty. And I bought it for 50p. And here's what Chris Packham says. This book is very pertinent. It is a diary, but essentially timeless. It is about enduring. It is about passion, beauty and connection. It really, really is. It's really, really special, says Chris Packham. Now it's written by a guy who, he was only in year 14, so he was about 16 or 17 when he wrote this, and it's written in quite poetic language. There are unfurlings in the forest, anemones and ferns are springing from the patient earth, from dim and ancient spaces. Even song is erupting and the airspace is once again crowded with music after the winter silence. Bluebells are on the cusp. Spring light and warmth are spreading across the mountains and into me. I have embraced the darkness, but now this feeling of light is intoxicating, explosive and alive. This book is a diary of this young man's wanderings round Northern Ireland, and it's Little Toller Books, and its website is www.littletoller.co.uk, and it was originally on sale for 16 quid. And it says, Diary of a Young Naturalist chronicles the turning of Dara McAnulty's world from spring to summer, autumn to winter, on his home patch, at school, in the wild and in his head. Evocative, raw and beautifully written, this is a very special book, vividly explores the natural world from the perspective of an autistic teenager, juggling homework, exams and friendships alongside his life as a conservationist and an environmental activist. With a sense of awe and wonder, Dara describes in meticulous detail encounters in his garden and the wild, with blackbirds, whooper swans, red kites, hen harriers, frogs, dandelions, skylarks, bats, cuckoo flowers, Irish hares and many more species. The power and warmth of his words also draw an affectionate and moving portrait of a close-knit family making their way in the world. So this just isn't a nature diary. This is an insight into Dara McAnulty's world, because he's got autism. And I taught in a secondary school for 30 years, and I don't remember ever discussing autism at Stranmillis College of Education. I don't ever remember it, it was barely mentioned. And yet, so many of our youngsters, and so many of the youngsters that we met in future days in the secondary school where I taught, had autism, and they had dyslexia and all sorts of different issues. But I don't ever remember these laid out for us at Stranmillis College. Maybe they are now, but they weren't in my day in the 70s. So what does it say about young Dara? And here he is. This boy has done well. He's a naturalist, conservationist, activist from Northern Ireland. He's received many awards for his conservation work, including from BBC Springwatch, the Daily Mirror and Birdwatch magazine. He's written and presented numerous natural history programmes for the BBC radio and TV, and become an ambassador for the RSPCA, the I Will campaign and the Jane Goodall Institute as well. Dara is the youngest ever recipient of an RSPB medal for conservation. He lives with his family and Rosie the rescue greyhound at the foot of the Mourne Mountains in County Down. Diary of a Young Naturalist is his first book. Now I've seen this young fellow on TV, and he certainly is passionate, but he gives you insight. He gives you an insight that I never had about a young fella growing up with autism. There's the ISBN number. And finding I'm well into this book. I've read about 40 pages or so, and it's very, very easy to read. And as I say, he's very, very eloquent, and he's almost poetic, and he's just dazzled with joy about what he sees and what he hears, and you see how he responds to it. It's fascinating. It's many pages long. Trying to find page number. It's about 210 or 12 pages long, and he's written one or two other books as follow-ups. So I thoroughly recommend this book too if you're into nature and wildlife, and finding the hidden gems, the out-of-the-way places. Because Dara will certainly direct you there. Okay. Another wee book for you to read. Oh dear. I'll give you an extract. Friday the 18th of May. I'm flicking restlessly on our garden swing. It's full sun, and the small enclosed space is brimming with birdsong and hiving activity. I hop off and peer into our wee bucket. They buried a bucket to make a wee pond years before. I remember the day we filled it with stones and old bits of clay pot and impatiently let it fill with rainwater. We added a cupful of murkiness from the pond at Dad's work, some native oxygenators, and the magic brew grew life. Water fleas first. Within a week, snails. Water beetles followed. Then dragonfly nymph. And the Holy Grail, tadpoles. Birds drink and bathe in our magic cauldron, while under the surface, metamorphosis is alive and well with 5 whole tadpoles. Squiggly, squirming teardrops, eating algae from the side of our potion pot. If you brew your own cauldron, magic will surely happen. Dara gets so much pleasure from the small things in nature, as well as the, more significant things. A spring evening spent watching life in a bucket on your doorstep is pure enchantment. Yes, it absolutely is. Here's another passage. This time it speaks of Dara's autism. Friendship has always eluded me. What is it anyway? A collection of actions and words between two people or more. People who grow and change anyway. It's a good thing apparently. That's what some people say. I don't have any experience though. I play board games with a group at my school. We play, we deconstruct the game. We don't talk. What is there to say? Sometimes I feel that if I start, I might not shut up. That has happened lots of times. It doesn't end well. Kids in my class, they walk around town together. They might play football together or whatever other sport takes their fancy. They don't talk though. They smirk and snigger at anyone who is different. Unfortunately for me, I'm different. Different from everyone in my class. Different from most people in my school. But at breakfast today, I watched the pied wagtails fly in and out of the nest. How could I feel lonely when there are such things? Wildlife is my refuge. When I'm sitting and watching grown-ups usually ask if I'm okay, Like it's not okay just to sit and process the world, to figure out things and watch other species go about their day. Wildlife never disappoints people like people can. Nature has a purity to me, unaffected. I watch the pied wagtail fly out and in again, and then step a little closer, peering in. I see that last week's eggs are now chicks. Tiny bright beaks, mouths open and closing silently. This is magic. So this is Dara's first book, and I'd thoroughly recommend it. But he has a few others, and I'm going to point them out to you. This, I think, is Dara's second book, Wild Child, A Journey Through Nature. So what does it say about it? Shortlisted for the Wainwright Prize for Nature and Conservation. Writing for Children, shortlisted for the Edward Stanford Children's Travel Book of the Year. Join the brilliant Dara McAnulty, winner of the Wainwright Prize for Diary of a Young Naturalist, as he takes you on a nature walk that starts just beyond your own front door and shares the joy of connecting with the natural world on a multi-sensory journey. There you go. Dara pauses to tell you about each habitat and provides basic facts or fantastic facts about the native birds, animals and plants you will find there, including wrens, blackbirds, butterflies, tadpoles, bluebells, bees, hen harriers, otters, dandelions, oak trees and more. And each section contains a discovery section where you will have a closer look at natural phenomenon such as metamorphosis and migration, learn about categorization in the animal kingdom, or become an expert on the collective nouns for birds. Every chapter finishes with an activity to do when you get home. Plant wildflowers, make a bird feeder, try pond dipping, make a journey stick and build a terrarium. I wonder what that is. And he closes the book with his own inspirational advice for young conservationists, making this a perfect guide for the aspiring naturalist. And the aspiring naturalist might be young, and he might be old, or he might be male, and he might be female. It says here there's a reading age of customers 4 to 10. Well, I'm enjoying his first book, and I'm certainly not 10 or 4 to 10. And this is the third book, Dara McAnulty, Wild Child's Birds. Let's see. Right. Wild Child's Book of Birds. Silly me. Join Young Naturalist, brilliant Young Naturalist, Dara McAnulty, winner of the blah blah blah, author of Diary of a Young Naturalist and author of Wild Child on a Journey Through the Year, a Year in the Life of Birds. A Wild Child's Book of Birds is a fantastic nature book, illustrated and full colour by Barry Falls. This beautiful, informative book takes you through the year in the life of birds you will find in Britain and Ireland. It is divided into 4 sensational seasonal sections. Find out what birds do in each season. Learn about birdsong, beaks, nests, eggs, science of flight, migration, what to grow to attract different birds to your garden, and what foods to put out on your bird table. Learn about different ways of recording what you see and about birds in literature. There are sections on birds of prey and corvids as well. So I recommend, on the basis of this Diary of a Young Naturalist, I recommend all these books because I'm finding this a terrific read. And I hope you do too if you get hold of it.